What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video, and today it's finally here, the top 45 MMA GOATs. Let's hop right into it, but we can't hop right into it until honorable mentions: Frankie Edgar, Alistair Overeem, Dan Henderson, Rampage Jackson, Jan Blachowicz, and Chael Sonnen. You can look up their records yourself. They just didn't quite make the list. And yeah. Number 45, JTS, okay? JDS, also known as Junior Dos Santos. I'm not going to be reading every single name. I mean, y'all can read, but I will be reading this one. He has a record of 21-6, all-time win. Cain Velasquez, which I don't know why that's there. He should not, that is not an all-time win. None. An all-time win's like top 20. Best wins. He does have a lot of good best wins. You know, Mark Hunt, Shane Carwin, Roy Nelson, Derek Lewis, Stefan Struve, Cain Velasquez, Frank Amir, and Fabricio Verdum. But he does have so much losses towards the end of his career that just takes him back. You know, man. Curtis Blades, Alistair Overeem, Jairzinho Rozenstruik, Francis Ngannou, Stipe Miocic, Cain Velasquez twice. You know, man. Real bad, man. You get me, bro. 44, Tony Ferguson. Tony time. His 12th fight winning streak cannot be, left off the list. Josh Thompson, Edson Barboza, Kevin Lee, Anthony Pettis, RDA, and Don Cerrone. I should have put Anthony Pettis in the honorable mentions because he's so underrated. He's right behind Pantoja and the most underrated fighters of all time. No all-time wins, but his losses, it's just, out of respect. And, I'm not an old head. I'm kind of a youngin'. I came in, 2019 when Max Holloway had the featherweight belt. You know, man? So, I kind of experienced Tony Ferguson. And he was really good back in the day. I saw him submit Kevin Lee, Edson Barboza. That was a good fight, It's just his losses. He needs to get back on that winning streak. I don't even need to read off the losses. 7-fight losing streak. And before then, he had 2 losses to Michael Johnson. And, I don't know. 43, Bilal Muhammad. Man. Record 24-2. Only lost to Vicente Luque and Jeff Neal early in his career. Best wins ended Sean Brady's 0. That's the only loss on Sean Brady's resume. And now he's ranked number 4 pound for pound. Beat Leon Edwards. I think that might have been a 50-45. It might have been a 50-45. You can argue it was a 50-45. 49-46. Dumped him on his head. Then we got Gilbert Burns. Didn't shoot 1 takedown. Vicente Luque. Damian Maia didn't shoot for 1 takedown. Randy Brown didn't shoot for 1 takedown. People call this man so boring. He didn't shoot for any takedowns in Damian Maia, Gilbert Burns, and Randy Brown fight. And I don't even... Stephen Wonderboy Thompson's a kickboxer or a karate kid. So obviously you want to take him down and, he 30-26 to Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. And he took down Tim Means, I'm pretty sure, but I didn't really watch that fight. 42, Sugar Sean. He's one of my favorite fighters. His style is just pretty good. 18-1. Marab is his only loss. Thomas Almeida, Eddie Wineland. I know that was a kind of washed Eddie Wineland, but Eddie Wineland back in the day was top 5 bantamweights in the world, and then he knocked out Aljo. Beat Peter Yan. The more I watch that fight, the more I think Sugar won the fight. The more I watch it. Because I want to give Yan the third, but it's just such close. It's so close. And he beat Marlon Vera in a 50-44. That first fight was a freaking fluke, Because I'm not going to be counting much injuries. Maybe I'll be counting robberies. I don't know. We'll see what I did. Yeah. The number 41 spot, Chris Weidman, record 16-7. All-time wins, Anderson Silva. I'm not counting the second one. That was a leg break, and Silva was winning that fight. Best wins, Gastelum, Silva, Tom Lawler, Damian Maia, Bruno. So this is like the same situation as Tony Ferguson. He has so much losses, but at the same time, his wins aren't even that good. Anderson Silva carries that win, you know. Brad Tavares, Yoel Romero, Dominic Reyes, Luke Rockhold, Eric Anderson, Jaco de Souza, and Gregor Mousasi for all of his losses. Heading into the top 40, Leon Rocky Edwards. You know, he has the championship gifts, even though he's not the champion anymore. Only 2 losses, Kamaru Usman, Bilal Muhammad. Kamaru Usman twice carries. Colby Covington, Nate Diaz, and RDA. You can you could put Donald Cerrone here. You know, but I put on the list. I put on best wins. Okay. 22-2 as his record. Dricus du Plessis should be in the top 40 at this point in his career. He's 8-0 in the UFC. All-time wins, Israel Adesanya. You gotta do that big pause like Bruce Buffer. Israel Adesanya, you know what I'm saying? Best wins, Sean Strickland, Brad Tavares, Derek Brunson, Robert Whittaker. He is the best in Israel Adesanya. He has the best 3 wins in UFC history. Can anybody, only Ilia Topuria can beat Strickland, Adesanya, and Robert Whittaker. Because if Ilia moves up and faces Charles and beats Charles, and that's the best 3 wins in UFC history. But for currently, Strickland, Whittaker, Adesanya, the best 3 wins in UFC history. Even Strickland and Adesanya back-to-back is so good. Strickland's not on this list, by the way. Okay. At the 38, I got Brandon the Assassin Baby Moreno with a record of 22-2. 4-2. Okay. 2 draws, Deiveson Figueiredo and this Russian dude that's only lost once, and they got kicked off the UFC by Kai Crawford. I don't know why they didn't like him. He could have been the champ. You know, man. No all-time wins, but Brandon Royval, David Ortiz, Deiveson Figueiredo, and Kai Crawford twice. He lost to Pantoja twice, Figgy, and Brandon Royval. Speaking of Deiveson Figueiredo, at the 37, it is Deiveson Figueiredo. You know, 24-2-1. Had a draw with Brandon Moreno. Lost to Brandon Moreno and Peter Yan. I think Moreno overall won in this. Overall won in the whole trilogy or quadrilogy, in my opinion. But best wins, he beat Pantoja, which is aging perfect, aging like fine wine. He's still not above Pantoja, but it's still aging well. That's what got him into this top 40. Brandon Moreno, Alex Perez, Rob Font, Chito Vera, Cody Garbrandt, Tim Elliott. You know, no all-time wins, but it's rad. Number 36, I'm going with Yoel Romero. Record 16-4. Chris Weidman, Brad Tavares, Derek Brunson, and Thiago Santos. This is such a sad career for this guy because he got robbed. I think he got robbed against Izzy. Second fight was a draw with Romero, and Paulo Costa was arguably a robbery too, dude. This guy could have been undefeated. I said arguably because I don't know if he really lost that Adesanya fight because I don't really feel like watching it back. But you can't give Adesanya 3 rounds to 2. You can't. Oh well, the cutout. But anyways, like I was saying, you can't give Adesanya 3 rounds to 2. 35. I got Tyron Woodley. Record 19-5 with a draw against Wonderboy Thompson. He lost to Gilbert Burns, Kamaru Usman, Roy McDonald, Jake Shields, and Vicente Luque. That Colby Covington fight was an injury stoppage. Best wins, Robbie Lawler, Kelvin Gastelum, Steve Wonderboy Thompson, Darren Till, Carlos Condit, Josh Koscheck. All-time wins, none. No all-time wins. At the 34, though, I'm going Fabricio Verdum. I really didn't want to put him on the list because I hate him. I don't know why. He just kind of pisses me off anytime I look at him. No all-time wins, but he has a stacked resume with Mark Hunt, Walter Harris, Cain Velasquez, Roy Nelson, Fedor Emelianenko, Alexander Emelianenko, Alistair Overeem, Alexander Gustafsson, Marcin Tybura, Travis Brownie, and Brandon Vera. Losses: Alistair Overeem twice, JDS, Andrei Arlovsky, Stipe Miocic, and Alexander Volkov. So with a record of 45-6. 33 spot, TJ Dillashaw. I just popped my knee. TJ Dillashaw with a record of 18-3. All-time wins, none. Best wins: Sandhagen and Cody Garbrandt twice. It's just what he did in the sport, taking PDDs. Losses: Dominic Cruz, John Dodson, and Henry Cejudo. At the 32, I'm going with Glover Teixeira. 33-6, no all-time wins, but he does have some pretty good wins. Underrated wins, I should say. Anthony Smith, Thiago Santos, Jared Cannonier, Quentin Jackson, Jan Blachowicz, Rashad Evans, and Ryan Bader. But he does have 6 losses to Jamal Hill, Corey Anderson, Alexander Gustafsson, John Jones, Anthony Johnson, and Yuri Prochazka. 31, I got Cain Velasquez. Not much wins either. JDS twice, Travis Brownie, and Brock Lesnar. His losses: Francis Ngannou, JDS, Fabricio Verdum. But he was a beast in his prime. He was the best heavyweight of all time in his prime. He could have beat everybody in his prime. He could have beat John Jones right now. He could have beat Tom Aspinall. He could have beat Francis. I know he lost to Francis, but he was way out of his prime. 2-year layoff. Entering the top 30, Alexandra Pantoja. With a record of 28-2. Never been KO, never been submitted. Best wins, no all-time wins. Best wins: Moreno twice, Royval twice, Manel Cap, Steve Erceg, Matt Schnell, and Alex Perez. I can't count Asakura as like a best win when he doesn't even have a UFC win. Losses: James Figueiredo, David Ortiz. People forget, man. No. For this, people forget, man, about David Ortiz. People do forget, man, about David Ortiz, and people forget, man, about Randy Couture. At the 29th spot with a record of 19-7. No all-time wins. Best wins: Kevin Randleman, Tim Sylvia, Mark Coleman, Chuck Liddell, Tito Ortiz, Vitor Belfort, Brandon Vera, and James Toney. I had to put James Toney in there. Losses: Chuck Liddell twice, Vitor Belfort, Lota Machida, Brock Lesnar, Josh Barnett, and ARN. I can't say it. 28. Matt Hughes with a record of 45-7. All-time win: GSP. Best win: BJ Penn, GSP, Frank Trigg, and Matt Serra. Losses: BJ Penn twice, George St. Pierre twice, Josh Koscheck, and Dennis Hallman twice. 27, I got Robert Whittaker with a record of 27-5. All-time wins: Jared Cannonier. No, not all-time wins. All-time wins, none. Best wins: Jared Cannonier, Paulo Costa, Brad Tavares, Derek Brunson, Darren Till, Kelvin Gastelum, Yoel Romero, Mike Rhodes. In losses: DDP, Adesanya twice, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, and Hamza Chimaev. People say that he's like 4th or 5th grade. He's not below Chris Weidman on the middleweight GOAT list. He's number 3 on the middleweight GOAT list. Okay, I don't care that Hamzat submitted him. He's still number 3 on the GOAT list. It's Silva, Adesanya, Whittaker, Yoel, then Weidman. Then maybe Bisping. But 26, I got Peter Yan. That Deiveson Figueiredo just bumped him up a little bit. Record 18-3. All-time wins: Jose Aldo. Best wins: Corey Sandhagen, Uriah Faber, Jose Aldo, John Dodson, and Deiveson Figueiredo. His losses: robbery against Aljamain Sterling, robbery against Sean O'Malley, and 50-45. I got 50-45 by Merab Dvalishvili. He beats Merab in the rematch. Entering into the top 25, we got Dustin the Diamond Bordier. Record of 29-8. All-time wins, Max Holloway and Conor McGregor. I don't know why Conor's there because he's not an all-time winner anymore, but I'm just going to leave it. His third fight does not count because it was a leg break. And Conor might have been winning that fight, even though the ground and pound strikes were pretty effective. Best wins, Michael Chandler, Jim Miller, Anthony Pettis, Max Holloway twice, Bobby Green, Conor McGregor, Justin Gaethje, Eddie Alvarez, Dan Hooker, and BSD. Losses, Islam Makhachev, Khabib Nurmagomedov, Michael Johnson, TKZ, Conor McGregor, Charles Oliveira, Justin Gaethje, and Cub Swanson. Number 24, Chuck Liddell. Record of 21-7. No all-time wins, surprisingly. I thought he had a lot other good wins, but Tito Ortiz twice, Randy Couture, Rich Franklin, Vitor Belfort, and Vanderlei Silva. Losses, Tito Ortiz, Randy Couture, Quentin Jackson, Rich Franklin, and Rashad Evans. 10-3 in the UFC, Brody. Conor McGregor at the 23. Best wins, Jose Aldo, Eddie Alvarez, Chad Mendes, Max Holloway, Nate Diaz. Losses, Poirier, Diaz, and Khabib. All-time wins, Jose Aldo and Max Holloway. We got Triple C, Henry Cejudo at the 22 with a record of 16-4. Best wins, Dominic Cruz off the couch, 4-year layoff. DJ Dillashaw on EPO, the CEO of EPO. Demetrius Johnson, arguably robbery, and Marlon Moraes, who gasses out after one round. What I'm trying to say is Henry Cejudo is overrated. Henry Cejudo overrated. Losses, Aljamain Sterling. Arguably robbery. I'm going to say that. Arguable robbery. It was 3-2. It was a very close fight. Demetrius Johnson got finished. Joseph Rodriguez got finished. Merab 30-27. All-time wins, DJ and Dominic Cruz. Dominic Cruz isn't even an all-time winner anymore. Charles Oliveira at the 21. Record 31-9. There's probably an all-time win somewhere in there. I just didn't put it in. Best wins, Dustin Poirier, Ferguson, Michael Chandler twice, Kevin Lee, Jared Gordon, Jim Miller, Jeremy Stevens, Beneil Dariush, Justin Gaethje, and I have Michael Chandler twice on this list. Hold up. You never saw this. You never saw that. All right. Losses, Islam Makhachev, Arman Shakarian, Paul Felder, Ricardo Lamas, Anthony Pettis, Frankie Edgar, Cub Swanson, Don Cerrone, Jim Miller, and Michael Why do I have Michael Chandler again, bro? Oh my God, Michael Chandler always be creeping up on me. Anyways, yeah. That's the list. At the 20, Fedor Emelianenko, also just a respect placement for all he's done in the sport of MMA. But his losses, Dan Henderson, Bigfoot Silva, ran batter twice. Fabricio Verdum, and Matt. All-time wins, none. Kevin Randleman, none. And then best wins, Kevin Randleman, Mark Hunt, Tim Sylvia, Mark Coleman, and Marco Kokop with a record of 29-6. 19, Dominic Cruz at the 24. 24-4 is a record. All-time wins. All-time wins. Demetrius Johnson when he was very young and he was still at bantamweight. Henry Cejudo, losses, Henry Cejudo, Cody Garbrandt, Marlon Vera. Marlon Vera just pissing me off. Just seeing Marlon Vera on his losses pissed me off. But Uriah Faber also. Best wins, Demetrius Johnson, TJ Dillashaw, split decision, Joseph Benavidez twice, and Pedro Munoz. That's a comeback win. 18, Stipe. Stipe Miocic. Record 20-5, all-time wins. Daniel Cormier twice. Losses: Daniel Cormier, JDS, Francis Ngannou, Stephen Struve, and John Bones Jones. Best wins: Daniel Cormier twice, Francis Ngannou, Alistair Overeem, Mark Hunt, JDS, and Roy Nelson. Number 17, Aljamain Sterling, record of 23-3. Best wins: Calvin Kattar, Henry Cejudo, Peter Yan, Corey Sandhagen, and Pedro Munoz. His losses: Sean O'Malley, Marlon Moraes, and Master Evloev. All-time wins: none. No all-time wins. Number 16, we got Francis Ngannou, the heavyweight GOAT, in my opinion, with a record of 18-2, all-time wins. Stipe Miocic, best wins: Alistair Overeem, JDS, Stipe Miocic, Curtis Blades twice, and Cain Velasquez. Losses: Stipe and Derek Lewis. And does Derek Lewis, that fight doesn't even count. Number 15 is Israel Adesanya, you know what I'm saying? With a record of 24-4. Losses: Jan Blachowicz, Alex Pereira, Sean Strickland, and DDP with an all-time win over Silva. Even though he was past his prime, we got to give Adesanya something, right? Best wins: Alex Pereira, Robert Whittaker twice, Jared Cannonier, Paulo Costa, Anderson Silva, Rob Wilkinson, Brad Tavares, Derek Brunson, and Rob Wilkinson is now a PFL champion, so that's kind of aging a little bit well. But the Nigerian Nightmare, out of the big Nigerian three, Kamaru Usman comes out on top at the 14th spot with a record of 15-3, all-time wins, none, but losses. Leon Edwards twice. The second fight was a draw. Am I wrong? The second fight was a draw. And Hamza Chimaev, that one was also a draw. He makes fights so competitive. I don't know why. Just finish the job, right? I don't know why. But best wins: Tyron Woodley, Colby Covington twice, Gilbert Burns, Damian Maia, Sean Strickland, and RDA. Number 13, record of 34-6. Anderson Silva, all-time wins, none. Losses: Chris Weidman, Daniel Cormier, Michael Bisping, Israel Adesanya, Jared Cannonier, and Uriah Hall. Best wins: Chael Sonnen twice, Damian Maia, Rich Franklin, Derek Brunson, and Forrest Griffin. Should have put Stephen Bonner in there, R.I.P. At the 12th, I got Demetrius Johnson with a record of 25-4. All-time wins: Henry Cejudo. Losses: Henry Cejudo, Dominic Cruz. And, two guys from the PFL, one championship, whatever the hell. Brad Pitt, and I don't know. I don't really care. I just put him on there because it just shows how much he's done outside of UFC. Henry Cejudo, Ray Borg, John Dodson, and Joseph Benavidez for his best win. Oh, man. I'm going to get some heat for that one. Merab over Usman, Adesanya, Silva, and DJ. Cejudo, Aldo, Moraes, Paul Grant, John Dawson, Peter Yan, Sean. Bro, Peter Yan, Henry Cejudo, Aldo is already a better win than Ray Borg, John Dodson, and Henry Cejudo. And you can even add Joseph Benavidez. I don't think it's going to be a better trio. And people do forget, man. Back to back, Peter Yan, Henry Cejudo, Sean O'Malley. That might be the second greatest of all time. Back to back. You know? With a record of 18-2. He only lost his first 2 fights in the UFC. You know? People just don't like him because he's boring. It's not like I put him above Jose Aldo, because he's not above Jose Aldo at the 10 spot. Okay? He's just very dominant, you know? 48-47, Sean O'Malley. 50-45, Peter Yan. 30-27, Henry Cejudo. I don't know what he did to Jose Aldo. I'm not even sure if that was a 5-rounder, but I just remember it being boring. At the record, 10, at the number 10, Jose Aldo record, 32-8. All-time wins, none. Losses, Alexander Volkanovski, Max Holloway twice, Peter Yan, Merab Dvalishvili, Conor McGregor, Marlon Moraes, and Mario Batista. And his best wins, Korean Zombie, Chad Mendes, Rob Font, Chito Vera, Pedro Munoz, and Jonathan Martinez. And I forgot to add Matt Brown, but he's also a pretty good win. But right above him, the guy who whooped Jose Aldo's ass twice, Max Holloway. This is my favorite fighter of all time. It's him, Nate Diaz, and like Anthony Pettis or something like that. Yeah, I love them. I love Max Holloway. I'm kind of biased towards him, but all-time wins: Jose Aldo twice, losses: Volkanovski 3 times, Conor McGregor, Dustin Poirier 2 times, Dennis Bermudez, and Ilia Topuria. The best wins: Jose Aldo twice, Brian Ortega, Yair Rodriguez, Anthony Pettis, Korean Zombie, Frankie Edgar, Arnold Allen, and Calvin Kattar, and Justin Gaethje / Gaethje. Gaethje's also one of my favorites. At the number 8, we got Alex Poatan Pereira. All-time wins, 0, record of 12-1. Yuri Prochazka, Jamal Hill, Israel Adesanya, Sean Strickland, Jan Blachowicz, and Bruno Silva for his best wins. Only one loss to Adesanya, the only guy to knock him out and the only guy to beat him in the UFC. Number 7, Daniel Cormier. I've seen people forget, man, how good Daniel Cormier was. After he defeated Derek Lewis, he looked unstoppable, and he could have arguably been a top 3 all-time after beating Derek Lewis. Then he starts slipping. He lost to Stipe twice. The youngins start coming in. So he's kind of slipping off the GOAT list, especially if Alex beats Ank. He will be slipping off that GOAT list slowly. With a record of 22-3, all-time wins, Stipe and Anderson Silva. Losses, Stipe twice and John Bones Jones. He has one no contest against John Jones. I don't have it on the screen, though. Best wins, Derek Lewis, Anthony Johnson, Alexander Gustafsson, Frank Mir, Roy Nelson, Dan Henderson, Anderson Silva, and Stipe Miocic. It is what it is. I said it is what it is, and then I cut right to Ilia Topuria. Max Holloway and Alexander Volkanovski carries him into the top 10. Josh Emmett, Bryce Mitchell, Ryan Hall. Aren't that good of wins. I just have to put them in. I'm going to get hate. I just think Volkan Max is better. Volkan Max, which Max was arguably in his prime, is better than a Derek Lewis and an Alexander Gustafsson. A Josh Emmett, Bryce Mitchell, and Volkanovski. No. Josh Emmett, Max Holloway, Volkanovski back-to-back is better than Stipe Miocic twice and Roy Nelson. That's all I'm going to say. 16-0 too. And he's going to apparently move up. And if he moves up and defeats Charles, then this is a rightful placement. I won't move him up against Khabib. I think he'll just stay there with the Charles Oliveira on his record. Because 6 is already a little too high. I'm just going off Lucas Tracy. for real. At the number 5, going with Khabib Nurmagomedov. Record 29-0. All-time wins, none. Losses, none. Conor McGregor, Poirier, Gaethje, RDA, Michael Johnson, and Edson Barboza. He won the belt off Alex Quinta, which takes so much away from him. I mean, people say Alex was fighting Khalil. I know it was on short notice, but Alex Quinta? There was talks of him fighting Holloway. There was talks of him fighting Ortega. Like, what? Just give him Ortega. Man? At the number 4, I got Volk. The Volkanovski train keeps going. Alexander Volkanovski with a record of 26-3. All-time wins, Max Holloway, Jose Aldo. Losses, Islam twice and Ilia Topuria. Best wins, Holloway twice, Aldo, Yair Rodriguez, Brian Ortega, the Korean Zombie, and Chad Mendes. I'm getting mad tired. But we're into the top 3, and the number 3 is Islam Makhachev. Record of 26-1, all-time wins. Volkanovski twice, losses. Alexandria Pantoja. Best wins, Alexander Volkanovski twice, Charles Oliveira, Dan Hooker, Bobby Green, Drew Dober, Omar Shakirian, and Dustin Poirier. And then we already know the two. Do I even have to read them off? You just read yourself. Matt Hughes, BJ Penn twice. Matt Hughes twice, BJ Penn twice, Nick Diaz, Michael Bisping, Sean Strick, Frank Trigg, Dan Hardy, and Jake Shields for his best wins. Only lost to Matt Hughes and Matt Serra. All-time wins, none. With a record of 26-2. That's GSP. And then at the number one, unfortunately, it is John Bonesy Jonesy. Oh man. As you can see on the top of my screen, it's fucking 4 a.m. I cannot do this shit at 4 a.m. 28-0 all-time wins. Daniel Cormier and Stipe. Losses 0. Best wins. Daniel Cormier. Alexander Gustafsson twice. Cyril Gane. Glover Teixeira, Rampage Jackson, Thiago Santos, and Stipe Miocic. Thank y'all for the video. This was an amazing video. I've been wanting to do this for a while. Hopefully a lot of y'all will watch it and say this is the best top 45 of all time. Thank y'all for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. See ya.